Hello guys, so I'm going to tell you what movies you guys should be watching this summer. So the first film you guys should be watching is Tom Cruise's Top Gun Maverick. And the reason why I recommend watching it is because one, it definitely pays homage to the original Top Gun. Two, you got all these new characters, especially the brilliant Miles Teller, who plays a brilliant job playing Goose's son, and then the rivalry, which is quite similar to the original, because you'll see him and another character remind you of Maverick and Iceman, always bickering and challenging each other, like who's the better pilot. So it's kind of like a remake, but more of a sequel to the Top Gun franchise. So, and then you have the incredible aerial combat scenes, the music, the famous dodgeball, the volleyball scene, but they change it a little bit. So you'll see some similarities to the original, but you'll see incredible new stuff for the sequel, which I'm still surprised how amazing it was, because I was still skeptical about seeing it, but I was amazed. Tom definitely blew it out of the park, man. He's literally one of the reason why he's one of the biggest action stars in Hollywood and still is today. So he really did a good job with this story, and it was so amazing. And the ending blew me away too, because I did not see that coming. So highly recommend watching Top Gun, and especially Val Kilmer. Oh my God, man, Val Kilmer. I thought for sure I was gonna see him in it, but he's in it for almost half of the movie, and I was blown away by his cameo. I was like, Val still does a good job. He's still badass. So I was surprised, for his cameo, he pretty much stole the movie. He pretty much stole it. It was so good. And then also another film you guys should see is Jurassic World Dominion. And that was another great film because you got the original cast, you got Goldblum, you got Sam Neill, and then you have the female lead. I'm always forgetting her name, but having them star alongside Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard, and then also you got the famous scientist, you got BD Wong from the original coming back. And then you got all these new characters, you got the guy starting from The Amazing Spider-Man playing the evil scientist, and then you got this badass pilot, and then also you got, all these young characters, and then you have either it was James Smith or Justin Smith coming back. And a few other ones that you saw from the second film, they come back. So it's so good. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat, how are they gonna do dinosaurs and humans coexist? What's gonna be the new threat? And it's pretty interesting how they came up with a new threat for this film, and how it will cause the world's destruction for humanity, but also their food supply. So it's oh, that's pretty genius. So it's and how they bring the original cast back, also with the new cast having to work together to bring down this new mega threat. It just pulls it off. And then the ending was still bittersweet, because it's still it ends on a conclusion, but it's still oh, they could still make another one if it's possible. But oh my God, Sam Neill was so good, him being yeah, raptors are the smartest animals, and then you have Chris Pratt say, yeah, I used to train with raptors. So it's you have them kind of they're kind of like a whole father and son, and then you have Jeff being Jeff, I told you I was right, bringing dinosaurs back, he's gonna kill us all, and you just knew he loved it, he just loved playing that character again, Ian Malcolm. With his words of wisdom and his narcissism. I mean, he was spot on. So I'm really glad that movie didn't disappoint. And then other than that, there's let's see, you got what's this? Ben Foster's new film, Medieval. I heard that's gonna be pretty amazing. And then you got, the huge Bros film, which is about like, gay pride and all that, which that surprisingly is gonna be pretty good to watch, about like, the whole stereotypes of being like a gay man, in the 21st century, I would say 22nd century. Yeah, 22nd century, it's all about like, oh, like what's it means to be gay now, or like, are there still stereotypes like, oh, are gay people do this, or they're more like manly, and like what's dating and relationships, so that's gonna be like interesting to watch, because I always love films like that are like, always like cut like, holes into like, what people really think. So definitely recommend watching that. And definitely watch The Batman, I watched it for the third time, still amazed how good it was, the whole cast, like Paul Dano's performance as Riddler was like completely like amazing, and then Robert Pattinson playing the brilliant Batman and Bruce Wayne. He definitely pulled as like this hurt guy trying to do right for his parents and still fighting crime, but he's still amateur and kind of naive, thinking he could still do it on his own, but he still has ways to involve being the greatest detective. So I can't wait for the sequel to see how he becomes like, the true Batman that we all know in the Christopher Nolan films, so we get this, so I can't wait to see how the Joker pulls off into that, and then also the Penguin. Oh my god, man, like oh my god, what's his name, who plays the Penguin? Colin Farrell. I had no idea that was him, and I'm still impressed how he did it. Like he pulled, he was pulling like this whole like Al Capone type of performance. Like, oh, you want to mess with me, Batman? Okay. It's like, I got you. He kind of had that like East Coast mobster vibe, and it was brilliant. And I was very impressed, and I wouldn't be surprised if like Paul Dano or Colin Farrell get an Oscar nom for that. But Zoe Kravitz as Catwoman, brilliant casting choice. She was perfect because she kind of like plays Catwoman, and Selena kind of like the original from like the 70s movies, and also from the 80s film. So you kind of see like a little bit of both, which is brilliant, and like I like that. I like how you see bits and pieces from previous Batman movies in this one, like, so it like the Batman is kind of like, like The Dark Knight meets Batman Begins meets Batman let's see, no, yeah, Batman Returns. And also, I would say the 1970s Batman with a little bit of Michael Keaton's, Batman as well, especially with the Joker. So it's like, it's all like, like still brand new, but still like you can see, most things they borrowed from the original, but it's still amazing to watch, like everything about it. Like even the musical score was brilliant too. So I when I downloaded the soundtrack on my phone, it still gets me pumped, and like the fight choreography was like so amazing. And then you got Jeffrey Wright, being Jim Gordon, the last good cop in a town full of corrupt cops and politicians. And you'll see a lot of like actors who play like these like sort of like who play like these like bad men in this movie, and it's still like, oh my god, I know who that guy is, or oh my gosh, she's in it too. It still blows your mind. So like definitely recommend seeing the Batman. definitely one of Robert Pattinson's best movies yet, and I can't wait to see him in the sequel and what other films he's done. He's definitely one of the best young actors today. So that's pretty much all I have on that, and I think I'm gonna make another video about me watching Cobra Kai. It's season 5, so I'll give a review about that. So peace.